Alright guys, check this out. Is that normal? This one's not far behind, although it's broken on top here. And I bet you these wells are partly broken. So, this is the XLS. I believe that plow is like $15,000 for a new one. To buy a new, brand new plow. So I'm not very happy about this. We've got a list of about 20 things from the winter, from hoses to broken cutting edge. This cutting edge, you can hardly see it now, but it was on there 3 days before it cracked there. I don't think I've ever broken a cutting edge. It's been on a plow for 3 days. And the plastic, this is just a little bit of a review. They're worn right out in one winter. I was expecting these polyurethane, it's like cutting edge for the wings. I was expecting them to last 3 winters. You know, maybe by the 3rd winter they'd be really worn out. But they didn't last one. Thank God I put these steel pieces on the corner. I have a video of that from back in, I believe I did that in January. And they reduced the amount of damage, like at least the amount of wear to the plastic. Someone left a comment on that video that I made that you can mount the steel pieces on there that go on the new model, which it makes sense to me. Really all you have to do is drill 4 holes. So I could have bought those, but you know what? I had the steel. It took me less than an hour to do each side. I did one side 1 week, and a couple of days later, or the next week, I did the other side. Because the plow's going out every day plowing snow. I don't have time to take things apart and fix them in the middle of a winter where it snows every 2nd or 3rd day. It snowed a lot this winter. That's the other part of this video that I want to get at, is the amount of snow is close to 300 centimeters. And I kind of predicted, and I shouldn't have said it, but maybe you jinx yourself when you do that, is in the middle of winter, I predicted, I think it was around the 1st or 2nd week of January, somewhere in there, that this could be a 300 centimeter winter. And it's turning out to be, we're at 285 centimeters about 10 days or 2 weeks ago. And we had 8.8 centimeters on Monday, or was it Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday. And we had a bit of snow on Sunday. I think it snowed 4 or 5 times in the last 2.5 weeks or so. So that's the last week of March up to the 12th of April. That's kind of unusual, but that does add to the total for the whole year, because we were out salting and plowing most of those days. There was one Saturday we didn't go out. But just check that out. That's that round piece that I welded on there. It's over half gone. And the front, I think these things bend and rub along the curb because the face of these bolts is rubbed right off. Yeah. And they're both torn, as well as one on the bottom. They're torn up on, can't really see it, but maybe this one over here. There's cracks behind this metal bar. Anyway, it was a hard winter. Mostly what I'm getting at, it was a really hard winter. I think we replaced the bolts. You know, there's about 6 or 8 bolts there. About 3-4 times from all the impacts, which means there's probably cracks all over this thing in different spots that we can't see yet, in there, you know, everywhere. Because the impact, when you hit something hard, there's a shock wave goes through the whole truck, up in the frame, everywhere, up in here, right through, everywhere. And I'm trying to negotiate with the property manager. They haven't received our list of broken equipment, because winter's not over yet. I said I'm not going to send it in till middle or the end of April, because if it does snow and we go out and plow 3 more times and break 5 more things, we might as well have a complete list and wait a little longer. So they'll have to be patient, because I'm not sending it in. Plus it gives us more time to think about and inspect more of our stuff. I wouldn't wish it on anybody to have to go through construction, because we're facing, well, one of two things. Either we make it through and we stay in business, or we default on the contract and we go out of business. And we would not be able to use a contract that we could not fulfill as a reference. So we'd lose our reference, which means we can't bid on anything in the future. So that's what we're facing. And this is not a construction company that's doing a great job. They're under the gun, almost a year behind the finish date. They're supposed to finish in September 2018, and I don't think they're going to be done till end of May, probably middle of June, if that, even if they could make that finish date. So they had a rule that phase 2 of the construction was not supposed to start until the first contractor was finished. Phase 1 was finished. Well, they're both working there now, both contractors. The first group are finishing up and the other group have started. And there's a third contractor in there doing a repair of an insurance claim because they broke a main electrical conduit, which is a huge insurance claim. So there's three contractors working in there at the same time and almost in the same space, which goes against all the rules. But anyway, this video is rambling on and on. 7 minutes already. So, just some thoughts going through my head. Yeah, and on top of all this is the kicker for the whole video here. This is the reason why I'm doing it. This is the first time in all the years we've been in business, since the early 90s, that we are not getting paid any extra money for above threshold of snow removal. It was sometimes $220. I think it was $225, $250, and it went up to $275 centimeters. With one of the that license plate's got to be cleaned off. You can get a fine for that. So yeah, let me get back to what I was thinking about. Yeah, we always got paid extra at a certain amount of snow, and the most recent contract we had was I think it was 260 centimeters. I can't remember what the number was. It was somewhere in there. And it included, whatever it was, it would include rain in 3 months, the months of December, January, and February. So a millimeter of rain would count as a centimeter of snow. So if you got 100 millimeters of rain, that would be considered 100 centimeters of snow. And maybe the threshold was 300. It's been a few years. It's been 4 or 5 years now since we had that. But we're working for a contractor who's contracted by the government, and their policy is no extra pay. They'll call that extra payment out, thinking that it was too hard for them to budget for it. Well, I said, you know what? It benefits both the contractor and yourselves when you get that extra payment, because we have money to keep doing the snow removal. It's like an insurance policy. If you get more snow than you're expected to get, you still actually can have a little bit of money left over to buy fuel for your vehicles, wear and tear on your plow equipment, and wages, which are 3 huge expenses. And it benefits both parties when you have that in there. But when you take it out, you're risking, the biggest risk of all is the contractor not fulfilling the contract, just going out of business. Which, or even lowering service. The going out of business is not a good option for anybody, but dropping service, not showing up. So, yeah. So, no, they said their view was, oh, you factor that cost into your estimate, your price. Well, you know what? We're bidding. It's the lowest bidder gets the job. So, How do you factor that in? I can factor a lot of things in. Like sitting on the beach in Florida when I'm 80 years old. I can factor that into my estimate. But I can also not get the job if I factor 10 things in there I wouldn't have normally put in there. So when it's lowest bidder, you gotta sharpen your pencil and try and get the job. So that's what it means. It means not bidding too high, or you won't get it. Simple as that. So I think these tires survived the winter. The front ones are new, so I was hoping we'd get through the winter with those tires. All right, just a little bit about my rant for the day. I have to say something because no one's on the contractor side, and we have this kind of damage. It's really hard to swallow. You know, we're going to spend the whole summer running around. I'm going to call the dealer today to find out what this whole part is worth. Anyway, thanks for watching.